What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Franchise Podcast. I'm Joe Arrigo. With me is my partner in crime, my brother TQ the Trojan.
Hey, back in business, baby.
Yes, sir.
Business.
It feels good to be back since at the end of the day, I mean, last time we did this, the Lakers just won the title. Dodgers won the World Series. We're on cloud nine, baby.
Listen. All things considered, right? Sports-wise, it was a hell of a year. We must say that much. We pulled the double again. The Dodgers and the Lakers won the championship, and we can't ask for no more. Literally can't ask for no more. So that's why I'm representing right now. I got the, you know what I'm saying? Got the home team popping in the city. So I'm feeling good about that much. One thing out of 2020 made me feel great, and that's the fact that both my teams got the chips in the same year. This happened before. When we was little boys, this happened. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you had it in 80. It was 89? 88. You had it in 88.
Yes.
Lakers, Dodgers, and 49ers.
For sure.
Well, see, but here's the thing. I could get that too. Lakers, Dodgers, and Packers if they do their thing.
Oh my God. Get out of here, bro.
Yeah.
No. Anyway, this is 2021. Get out of here. Not happening. Dead it.
Killing me, bro.
Dead it.
Oh, hey, but there's some big news that broke on Thursday when we're talking about doing the show. Raiders owner Mark Davis purchased the Las Vegas Aces. It's a big move from Mark. A lot of fans, you know, they would say, "Oh, Mark Davis, he's poor. He's cash poor. He can't afford things." Well, Mark moves to Vegas, gets this beautiful, beastly stadium built behind me, and then turns around, gets the facility built, and now buys the Las Vegas Aces of the WNBA, a team that played for the WNBA title last year. Man, like, if you're, and I know people in the Raiders, and I know they're excited, but you guys are a fan, bro. I'm gonna ask you, like, how do you feel? Are you excited that Mark Davis, you know, basically almost shut some people up? Because some people are saying, and we can talk about this a little bit, this is going to pave the way for the NBA to come to Las Vegas along with Seattle down the road.
I agree. I mean, the city is primed for professional sports, period. It is, I mean, the setup, okay, just if we look back at the activations that we heard about that was supposed to happen for Raider game days in 2020 before COVID. You remember these conversations that we was in?
Oh, yeah.
This city knows how to entertain. So it's like, take Dr. Bust's idea with the Lakers and put it on crack. And then that's how Las Vegas does it. Like, it was solidified for me the first time I went to a VGK game. It's a different kind of experience. Okay, it doesn't matter if you know hockey, don't matter if you like hockey, none of that matters. It's the entertainment factor that
but you went to your first game last year, last November. Not November of 19, I should say, not 20. November, right, because we were all obviously in quarantine. But so what was that experience like? Because you went and they played a rival. They played the Sharks when you went. What was that like for you?
It was like, it reminded me of being at a college football game down south. Like
down in LA.
No, down south in Alabama or Louisiana somewhere. Like the atmosphere is the energy is so extra. And like, I've been to Kings games before. I sang the national anthem at a Kings game before. And like, it's a different vibe because everybody is not just there. Everybody is absolutely nuts, out of their mind completely. The whole game, they never stop. And that's like being at like a LSU or Alabama Auburn game or something, like where it seems like it's down here, it's the only ticket in town. So everybody been waiting all week to do this particular thing. So they completely gassed up. Out here, it's all kinds of stuff going on.
Yeah.
But the way that they react and the way that the presentation from the time you walk in there to the time that you leave, it says Vegas to you. So him buying the Aces, I could see a lot of influence and a lot more entertainment value coming to the presentation of the game. And what you're supposed to do, man, you make a bold move like that, you make a organization like the Raiders to a city like Las Vegas, you're supposed to splash it. Like, dig your feet in it, ingratiate yourself with the community, ingratiate yourself with the name. Like, I think it's a great move. Great move.
He's already a season ticket holder. So he's already at like every game. And I'm going to give MD a lot of credit, man. Like, Mark Davis has done a fantastic job of ingratiating himself in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
He's been to, Knights games. He's been to Aces games.
Yeah.
People don't realize he's been to a couple UNLV games in the box, chilling off to the sidelines, privately. So he's everywhere in Vegas. He's acclimated himself very well. He's been to the fights, from UFC to boxing. And earlier today, this is the statement that Mark Davis and MGM made. We start off with Mark. He said, quote, "I'm excited to announce that I have entered into an agreement to purchase the Las Vegas franchise of the WNBA from MGM Resorts International. I'll have more to say once I receive a WNBA board of governors and have had a chance to speak with the players, coaches, and administrators of the team," end quote. Now, George Kleefkoff, who's the president of entertainment and sports for MGM Resorts International, said in the statement, quote, "We can confirm that we have entered into an agreement to sell the Las Vegas Aces to Mark Davis and are awaiting approval from the WNBA Board of Governors. Mark is a longtime champion of women's basketball, and we believe he is the right person to lead the Aces into a new era. We will continue our enthusiastic support of the WNBA, NBA, and basketball in Las Vegas," end quote. Like, that tells me right there, the last statement from Kleefkoff, the WNBA, NBA, and basketball in Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know I know they have I know MGM has ties and is a part of the Summer League, but what's long been rumored, and I've told you this 3 years ago when myself, Arash Markazi, and I'm not gonna say who the source was, who was at the Bellagio for March Madness, and he's an NBA guy. He said, look, the NBA in the next few years is trying to add 2 expansion teams. One is going to Seattle with the Supersonics. Rightfully so. That should be the first team in any sport that they're going to expand. It needs to be the Supersonics. They should never been moved from Seattle to begin with. And he said the second thing, they want to move a team or put an expansion team in LA. Now, what would happen then is the NBA would realign, and you would see the Timberwolves and the Grizzlies go from the Western Conference to the Eastern Conference with the 2 expansion teams out west. To me, that makes perfect sense. Everything's aligned. And this kind of falls in line with the timeline. MGM selling them. MGM is trying to gear towards other facets of their business, to redirecting their business. Mark Davis is accumulating more investments and some more things he's passionate about, because Mark is a champion of women's basketball. He loves women's basketball. He has, I've talked to him a couple times about it. He's more him talking about the WNBA is like me and you talking about the Lakers or the Dodgers or USC football, or even UNLV football. Now that the people are starting to get on board.
Right.
I love the fact that Mark's doing this, because Mark is kind of thumbing his nose to those that say that he can't do it or he's a bad owner. This just goes to show that he's not. He's making smart business moves that are savvy. And I commend him for it, because I actually think the Aces are going to take a huge step forward, because now they have an owner that really is invested in them, and an owner that really wants to see titles. Because let's be real, he inherited the Raiders, and that's his team. But no matter what, it's always associated with Al. This team now will forever be associated with Mark, and solely Mark.
Yeah, and let's not leave out the fact that they're a damn good team.
Yeah.
So it's quite possible for them to get some hardware out here pretty soon. So it's not like he just buying some. It's not like it's just some, it's like some pity buy for the city. Like he bought a juggernaut for real. They're gonna be good for a while.
Who wins the title first, the Raiders or the Aces?
Ooh.
Oh, see, sports question.
Aces just left out of the finals, man. They was just in the finals.
I know. That's why I'm saying,
they closer to it.
Does that hurt to say?
For sure.
Does that hurt to say?
It does. It does. But like, I mean, things can change. We got defensive problems.
Okay, but not
in the building behind you. We got some defensive problems. Period. So until we get them addressed, ain't gonna be no championship.
But the answer to those problems, Raider fans hopefully have solved with Gus Bradley, who just was hired the other day as the defensive coordinator. He got his start, and so I'll give CJ Baldwin. I'm gonna salute you, CJ, the Raider realist for Franchise Sports Media. Follow him at Manu's Bald Spot on Twitter. CJ wrote an article a couple weeks ago saying, "Hey, look, Gruden's gonna hire somebody. It's gonna be somebody he's familiar with, somebody he knows and has a history with." CJ thought it should have been Wade Phillips, who there's no history with.
Right.
But Gus Bradley was the guy he said most likely is going to get it in the article. Yeah. And Gus Bradley has a history with John Gruden. He was his linebackers coach. He cut his teeth in John, him going up to with our buddy Seattle, and was a D coordinator there. After coaching backers there for a few years, and it ended up going to Jacksonville as their head coach, where we have people that play there that we know, that know a lot about Gus. So in talking with the people and I want to get your opinion about Gus Bradley, because there's something about the hire that I like more than probably most. What do you like about the Gus Bradley? What do you dislike about the Gus Bradley hire, bro?
Well, I personally believe that the Raiders' problem on defense, a lot of their issues are fundamental. And you need somebody that's going to come in that's kind of rigid, that has some kind of structure. And from what I hear, that's him. He'll be a lot less lax. So that seems to me like some better tackling, some better technique on defense. And I know he's not the splash like everybody wanted. I never thought that Gruden was going to change to a 3-4. I never thought that was going to happen. So there's a couple of people that I ruled out in the first place, including Wade Phillips. I don't think that's necessarily necessary. I think that these guys on this team are very athletic. Most of them are. They're out of position. They are ridiculously out of position constantly. So whoever the coordinator is, it has to be a teacher, because we don't have guys that have mastered position and technique yet. They need to be coached up. I think that Gruden understands that, and I think that aside from it just being a friend or somebody that he knows, I think he had to bring in a strong coach that could deliver a technique and cause them to stick to it. Most of the times when they got blown up on defense, when it just went ridiculous, it was because of missed assignments on all three levels. Constantly people out of place, to the point where even when you looking and you watching the game, right? 2 hours after the game, you on Facebook or you on Twitter, you looking around, and regular fans are calling out the problems. And it's like, how can the players not see that? Like, this team has had some damn good drafts. Like, you can go back to these dudes in college and you can see why they're on this team. But some of the mistakes that was made this season, man, they was gross. Like, they was ridiculous, like worse than high school. So I think part of him being a little bit more rigid with these guys and being really like crossing the T's and dotting the I's. That's the type of defensive coordinator this team needs.
I would agree. What makes me most excited about the hire is the two staff members he brought with him from San Diego, and that is linebacker coach Richard Smith and DB coach Ron Miles. Now, Miles as a DB coach, and I've talked to a few guys I know in the league, a couple guys down with the Chargers, they swear by this dude. I mean, he is in the realm of a Joe Witt Jr., guys like that are considered the creme de la creme of DB coaches. Those are two big hires because those two positional groups need to play better. I mean, the defense needs to play better and all. I like keeping Marinelli to keep the cohesiveness on the D line, and it gives you some experience. If not, you should never fire Brinson Buckner a year ago.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? So you feel you upgraded, cool. But to bring these two guys in, you look at the linebacker play down in San Diego. Melvin Ingram's a monster. You look at, the dude. I see his face. Came out of Miami a couple years ago. The middle linebacker, he's dinged up a bit, but Denzel Perryman, another guy, plays good.
Them dudes was bit. They've been bit with injury like crazy.
Exactly.
That squad would have been much better on defense if it wasn't for everybody just always getting hurt.
But hear me out with this, though. I'm gonna do some foreshadowing. In the words of my mentor and our good friend Fred Rogan, you gotta read the tea leaves. Okay, that's Fred. You gotta read the tea leaves. Okay, let me tell you the tea leaves. So he's gonna kill me when he sees this too. I'm like, what the hell are you doing there, Joe? But no. Melvin Ingram is a guy that's the Chargers probably aren't going to keep. People talk about cash poor owners. Dean Spanos is the epitome of that from a NFL or a sports league ownership standpoint. Okay,
right.
Melvin Ingram's a guy that can rush the edge, something the Raiders need.
Bad.
You put him with Kwiatkowski and Little. Those are three backers right there. Little didn't fit the scheme last year. That was part of the problem. Kwiatkowski did everything you would want, but he played basically a torn pec all year. So, I mean, you see that. You still have a guy like Javen White, who's the hybrid that you want, who when Javen the last game, made some big plays for him, a couple tackles for loss. We're not surprised, but that's, it's what it is. So you could bring in a Melvin Ingram. Let me throw another name out there. Leonard Williams, the big cat from USC.
Would love it.
You bring Leonard, you put him in that D line next to Malik Collins, or if you keep some of the guys there. Malik Collins was injured all year. If he's not injured, it's a different game. So you put him next to them with Max and Farrell, and then you're cooking with some fish grease now. You have something. And then you got to go get a free safety. And Jason Simmons from the Broncos is a guy that's going to be available unless they franchise him again. The Raiders are going to clear up $32 million in cap space by not bringing back Trent Brown, by not bringing back LaMarcus Joyner, and by not bringing back Tyrell Williams. You could really flip Leonard Williams, Jason Simmons, and Melvin Ingram, and not $30 million. I think if you're a Raiders fan, you're going to be pretty happy with that if they were to go that route, because those are all guys that fit what Gus Bradley wants to do. And remember, he was involved with the Legion of Boom. So there's a lot of cover 3 that's going to get played, but there's probably going to be a lot of combo coverages as well.
Good point. I think you've been on some good juice lately. I believe you actually talked with some sense for once.
Man, look.
Once.
Look, 2021 is the year of all positivity, baby. I got a lot of good stuff happening. There's positive in everything that we're doing, okay?
Listen, man, I'm eager to see what these guys do with another draft. I am like this. You know how I felt about this draft this year.
Shouldn't have taken a receiver first.
Didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Whole lot of sense to me. I said this from day one. That wasn't what we should have did, because it was people that we could have got that would have helped us out a lot this year. Nelson Aguilar, I don't know what the hell was wrong with Philadelphia. I don't think nobody knows what was wrong with Philadelphia. Don't nobody in LA know what was wrong with Philadelphia. At least. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody was I'll never forget. Oh, Ruggs, number one receiver. Ruggs, the number one receiver. Huh? I take nothing from Ruggs. But if you put him as number one receiver, you're not using him for what you need to be using him for. It's like you're taking away a big part of his game if you playing him like that. The reason why I said it was an okay pick, go ahead and pick that, because I was expecting Mr. Williams to get on the field this year and prove you wrong. And that didn't happen. So this particular draft, I just want to see them go heavy defense. I don't want to see no going with emotions. I feel like last year, some of them was emotional picks. And we can't afford emotional picks because, to be honest, give Ruggs another year. Give a lot of these guys another year with Derek Carr. Because, listen, the Derek Carr conversation is over.
I was about to say, don't open that can of words.
Over. I'm not even listening to it. I have no. That's a wrap. These other dudes need to get to their third and fourth year. They need to start cooking with gas. Once they start cooking with gas, it's a wrap. I'm not worried about the offense at all. Can score with anybody. We won't have these dumb mistakes. We won't have these problems. That's not a problem. Got to work on this defense. And it's not.
I disagree with
the offense. It's bodies.
Right. No, where I disagree with the offense with you is I think Gruden's got to do a better job of putting Ruggs in a position to make plays, not just on jet sweeps and going deep. Ruggs runs a lot of slants and digs. You got to put him in position to make plays. You got to target him more. You got to target Edwards more. But I agree with you on a couple points. One, you don't need to get rid of Carr. So all the fans clamoring for Deshawn Watson, and we'll get to that later, but Derek Carr is the Raiders quarterback, and he's not going anywhere.
Period.
Period. Like, that's not even a discussion. Okay, so that will not be talked about unless they do trade him somewhere. We're not going to talk about that again on any franchise media show with me and TQ. Period.
Done.
At all.
Finished.
Second thing, the Raiders don't need a number one receiver because they already have one. And let me tell y'all the secret. His name is Darren Waller. That's the number one receiver. Darren
100.
Waller. What
Agreed.
Ruggs does is blow the top off the back end of the defense. What Renfro does is run the underneath routes, pick up the first down. Edwards is your balanced wide receiver. But your number one dude is Darren Waller. So don't say, we need to go get Juju. No, you don't need Juju. You don't need Allen Robinson. That's a luxury. What's not a luxury is giving up 27, 28, 29 points a game.
There you go.
Go get D linemen.
This is my point. I don't want them to spend any capital on any offense this year. Let these guys learn how to play. Yeah, no, I'm talking about weapons. Like, every offseason we clamoring for more wide receivers and all this and that. Let these dudes learn how to play with the quarterback. The quarterback that we have is not just some quarterback. He's a player that can make other players around him better. So let's allow them to get better. Please, all defense, bodies, defensive linemen. You don't have to get the number one defensive lineman in the draft. You don't have to get him. You need more bodies than you have. We need 3 big dogs on defense, and we need to pull them out of the draft.
You know what the Raiders need to do, and you're gonna kill me for saying it and how I'm gonna use it. They're gonna take a page out of Green Bay's book, not draft a quarterback in the first round, but draft guys that fit your system. No, you roll your head because I use them as an example, but the draft wasn't well received. You ripped the picks. You deservedly so, but they drafted guys that fit what they like to do on offense and defense. It's the same thing. I don't care if McShay, Todd, whatever coronavirus medicine you're on, pass that shit to somebody because that's some good stuff right there. Okay, that's the Pineapple Express or whatever you're on, bro. Okay, then you got whoever Kuiper says or Daniel Jeremiah. No, just stop. If this guy fits what Gus Bradley wants to do on defense, if this guy fits what the DB coach is doing or the linebacker, if this guy fits what Gruden's offense is, doesn't matter if he's rated higher on your board. It has to be the guy that fits your scheme the best. That's what the Raiders need to do. They did that the year before by taking Cleveland Farrell, Josh Jacobs, and Jonathan Abram. I think they deviated from that last year. I think Gruden kind of got Al Davis power lust and was like, we got to get speed, brother. We got to get speed on offense, brother. Yeah, speed. And you go take Ruggs when Justin Jefferson was the best receiver in this thing. And
draft people that can sack quarterbacks in 2 seconds. Period. That's all that's needed. Coach the guys that you have up on defense because they have proven that they are athletes. Get them right in the head. And now go get people that can get to quarterbacks in 2 seconds. Scour the country for bodies that can get to quarterbacks in 2 seconds. You need that to happen 3 or 4 times every single game. Trust me. You want to make a cornerback look good? You want to make your linebackers look good? You want to not give up 40 points a game? Get you some guys that can get to a quarterback in 2 seconds. Put Justin Herbert on his ass. Patrick Mahomes, put him on his ass. Whoever John Elway lines up behind center, put him on his ass. That's all we need to do.
Put Elway on his ass.
Then all of them dudes back there in the back that be all off and out of position, they can be out of position, no problem. They go to the sideline, Gus cuss them out, coach them up. Because why? Patrick Mahomes is getting up off his butt. He did not complete the pass. That's how it's done. That's how it should have been done last year. I hope they do it this year. I believe that the right moves have to be made this offseason because I feel what should have been done last offseason wasn't. The need wasn't addressed.
Well, yeah, we've seen that this year. We've seen that with the record. We thought it was in free agency, but it wasn't nearly enough.
No, you thought it was in free agency.
Had a hard time.
All of these people at Franchise Sports Media outside of me thought it was dealt with. I didn't think it was dealt with at all. Why? Because we never sacked the quarterback. And sacking the quarterback is very important. Everybody talks about shut down corner. Oh, shut down corner. You can't be a shutdown corner if you got to stick your man for 7 seconds. I don't care who you are.
No, that's real.
It's not.
That's real.
So you got some guys that are some good athletes that have played at big programs, and they look like trash, and you know they're not trash. But why do they look like trash? Because this play has been going on for the last fucking 10 seconds. And they've been running around the field. This man's out of his route. Everything's broken down. And somebody's open. We've got to get to the quarterback. We haven't got to the quarterback in a long time.
Years.
Got to get there and get there consistently. And it's not a Max thing. I knew that was going to happen to Mad Max. It always happens to the defensive linemen that second year because they're going to double team you, especially if they have nothing else on the D-line that they're afraid of.
Okay,
so every team is completely lining up. So what?
My critique of Crosby is this: he gets a lot of his sacks in bunches. He'll go 3 games where he's got 9 sacks, and then he's absent for 6 games. Then he'll have another 3 games of 6 sacks, and then he's absent again. I want to see that more on a consistent basis. And I know you're going to say, oh, they're double teaming them these games, and they're not double teaming them these games. No, the fact of the matter is, if you're an elite pass rusher, if you're in that Khalil Mack, if you're Von Miller, if you're Aaron Donald on the inside, you're getting double teamed all the time anyway. And most of them are still pulling up those big numbers.
Everybody always has this argument, and it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all because every single one of these great defensive linemen that you're talking about has another great defensive lineman on their team. And the only reason you don't talk about that man is because their names are so big. But that man causes just as many problems as they do. So sometimes their double team doesn't matter because they got this other dude. You got to pick your poison. The Raiders don't have that situation.
So at this point, are you calling Cleveland Farrell a bust?
I'm not calling him a bust. I'm saying I don't think anybody drafted him to be Khalil Mack.
No.
He's a piece of the puzzle. The puzzle is not finished. You're supposed to continue building the puzzle in the draft. The puzzle is to get a bunch of good guys. It's not about finding the guy that's going to get 20 sacks a year, because I don't think he exists. I don't think you're in a position to get him. I don't know where he is. But we don't need a whole team full of guys that can only get 3, 4. How about everybody get 7 or 8? Fine with me.
Then you're breaking sack records if you have 4 or 5 guys with 7 or 8. You know, I know.
I'm saying, listen, I'm just saying, like, give me some, spread it out. We need more bodies. It's certain people on the team that's just a body, and they're not gonna ever get to the quarterback. Like, we need to build on them. We need more bodies. It doesn't have to be the best defensive lineman in college football. It needs to be a dog. He don't have to be first round talent. You get what I'm saying? You can get him in the second, you can get him in the third. You just need to score on him. He needs to be a dog that can get past an offensive line and get to the quarterback. And you need to find 2 or 3 of them. Okay, I don't even think, to me, like one Khalil Mack, that would be great. But I'd rather have 2 or 3 more Max Crosbys.
Okay, so let me just put this in your head, and I'm not saying it's gonna happen because I don't think it's going to. I'm gonna put this in your ear and put this out into the universe, because I wouldn't be saying it if a birdie didn't tell me this. Khalil Mack's contract is very movable, and it won't cost the Bears any dead money.
Yeah, I heard about this.
Do you think the Bears would consider moving him? And if so, do you think the Raiders would jump into the fray to try and bring him back to the silver and black, since he would actually fit exactly what they want to do on defense and a need?
If they want to take all the bullshit that comes with making that move, I mean, I would love it. I would absolutely love it, because I think that would allow us to see what Farrell and Max are really about. Really, it's just like what I was saying earlier. Like, Aaron Donald got dogs lining up next to him. You know what I'm saying? Khalil Mack, he got dogs lining up next to him and behind him. They're not at these places by themselves. When he was at the Raiders, he was by himself and he was going crazy in 2 positions. So, but now he got a lot of help back there. So that allows him and those other players to get on the line, allow each other to play better.
Yeah.
These guys that we have need 1 or 2 more of themselves, or that one super dog like Khalil Mack. That is the biggest difference. I mean, that is the glaring problem on the team, more so than anything else. That's what it is.
If you were Mike Mayock and the Bears, let's say, are just like, hey, we're just gonna listen. Not saying it's gonna happen. Would you say, hey, we'll give you pick 17 and the 2nd round pick and a 3rd round pick the following year for Khalil Mack? Would you do that?
17 and our 2nd round pick this year?
1st and 2nd this year and a 3rd the following year.
Yeah, absolutely.
What if they said, what if they said, give us your 1st and Derek Carr?
No.
I would agree with that too.
Under no circumstances ever. Derek Carr is untouchable.
I agree. So, speaking of the Bears, they got bounced from the playoffs last week. They lost to the Saints in it was a boring game, but the cool part was on Nickelodeon. Did you watch that broadcast?
Yeah, that was sweet.
I watched the first half on it, and I'll say what I took 3 things away from it that I really liked. 1, Nate Burleson. I already love Nate, but Nate crushed it. His bag is going to be just filled with cash from the networks in a year or so. Okay,
he does a good job.
The second thing was I like the slime in the end zone after touchdowns. I thought that was a cool idea.
Sweet.
And I like how it indoctrinated kids into football, since football numbers are down at the youth level.
Right.
Smart from the NFL. The third thing I took away was, why was the Nickelodeon first down line better than anything we have on TV right now? I mean, it was dope. It was thicker. It had a little slide moving. If you did that with the team colors, that could be pretty cool. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, man.
So that was an ugly game. So because of that, the Saints end up playing the Buccaneers for the third time, and Bruce Arians, the Buccaneers head coach, is 0-4 against the Saints during his time with Tampa Bay as their head coach, and Tom Brady, Drew Brees, and what could be Drew Brees' last game. The rumor is he's done after this season.
Yeah.
Brady in a dome, which I think favors Brady a little bit because he's playing out of his mind right now. Who do you like in that game?
I'm going with the Saints. Because more so than anything, it's now or never. And I know that's what's being preached in that locker room. And there's something to wanting to do it for Drew Brees. I think that that's gonna have some fire in their ass. And when the Saints get into that zone where they unstoppable, they just unstoppable. And I know they ain't got, it ain't
Who Dat Nation in the dome.
Yeah, they ain't gonna be filled with the crazies in there, but still, man, it's the things that didn't happen to them over the last couple of years. With the injury to Drew Brees this year, right? I mean, it's now or never. If they don't do it now, they don't do it never. So I'm going with the Saints with this one. I do believe that the Buccaneers probably have the better team, and I believe that they're probably the only team that could even give Green Bay a fight.
Let me hear you say that one more time.
But no, I'm not saying it again. But they would have to get by the Saints to do that, and I don't think they can.
I want the Saints to win, even though I think the networks want the Buccaneers to win because they want to have that Brady Rodgers matchup potentially, especially if Green Bay wins. We'll get to that game last. I also want to see the Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. I want to see him lined up in Antonio Brown because Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is one of the better head talkers in the NFL, and he's getting guys thrown out of games left and right. He got Mike Thomas thrown out of practice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he's getting his own teammates thrown out of practice.
Yeah, he's cool with it.
And actually, I talked to T-Skip about him coming out because T-Skip helped recruit him to Florida.
Okay.
And he was like, yeah, man, he loves to talk shit. He talk shit.
For real.
But I want to see him over AB. I think AB is starting to feel himself a little bit. So there's gonna be that little bit of alpha male.
Yeah.
That game. I think it's gonna come out of the Saints defense playing well. But I'll say this: Sean Payton won games with Taysom freaking Hill as quarterback.
Yes.
Taysom Hill makes Tim Tebow look like he's freaking Peyton Manning. The dude is a running back that can just chuck the ball. It's what he is. So, and which I think is telling to keep Jameis Winston on the bench too. Honestly, that makes. I think the Saints.
I don't put too much into that, to be honest, though, bro. It'd be different if Taysom Hill was a different if he was a different type of quarterback, but. You got to understand, it's just like this situation that Sean McVay was in this past week. Listen, he was licking his chops for that other kid to play that game because it was bringing a challenge that Seattle wasn't able to prepare for. Yeah, they didn't have a lot of tape on Sean McVay with a running quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with a lot of times, they looking at those situations and they like, yo, I can steal a couple of wins here because this is a totally different wrinkle in the offense that I'm used to playing. I think it's a division rival too. Come on, man. I can get up in them with this guy. So I don't think you give I don't think you give him enough credit.
I'm giving him no credit. He's a gadget player. Like he's not that guy. And I
can win. That can win, obviously.
Not in the playoffs.
It don't
not in the
playoffs.
Because no, okay. I understand that. He's gonna get his snaps at quarterback because that's what he does. Peyton's not gonna deviate what he does on offense. I don't want to see Breeze go down. Let's say Breeze goes down and has to miss a quarter or some series. Taysom Hill can't be that guy because now I'm putting 9 in the box, or I'm putting 8 in the box, and I'm playing cover 0. I'm like, throw it.
You did that. You know what? That's the same thing your team did to Colin Kaepernick and got
no,
torched.
No, they did not. You know what torched that? And don't get me started. Clay freaking Matthews III crashing and not containing. Crashing, not containing. If he contains, it's a different ballgame. Don't get me started with that squeeze. I turned it red in the face, bro. Look at, I'm hyper-colored right now, homie.
That's some loser. That's some loser stuff you're talking about, bro. That's not gonna work.
Oh, no way. It's real though, homie. It's real. Like, look.
The man can throw the ball too well for that, dog.
Taysom Hill can
throw the ball. He can throw the ball. He can complete passes.
Bro, he completed like one more pass in the game against Denver when they had the guy that was playing receiver on the practice squad. Like that dude outplayed him. The Saints were just a better team. Like, come on, man. Like you're see.
How many games did he lose? How many games did he lose?
Quarterback, no.
That's my point. That's my point. Where are the Saints playing at this weekend? Half the season, they played with that dude. So what are you talking about?
No. It was 3.5 games, 4 games. Drew Brees played in 12 games.
Okay,
I looked at the numbers for a different reason earlier in the week.
How did they do?
Were they 3-1?
Okay.
Something like that.
He did his job.
I think.
He did his job. And he did his job with another quarterback that was breaking records last year, sitting on the damn pond.
Okay, what kind of records was he breaking? He's the second 30 for 30 man. That's what he is. 30 picks, 30 interceptions. Don't act like he's breaking a good record. See, don't try.
He was breaking records last year, bro.
Don't start the fuckery, squeeze. Don't start the fuckery. No. It ain't like that, brother. It ain't like that. We go back way too long, and I knew you were gonna do that shit. No. Man, hit the Pineapple Express one more again, because I know that's what you want.
Damn, Jameis, bro. Oh,
see, man, go give him some crab legs. He'll be cool, bro. Like, I mean, but no, I like the Saints in this one, and I think the Saints defense is playing a little bit better than the Bucs defense. But if I'm a Saints fan, I'm worried because they scored 21 or 24 or something like that, or 17 on the Bears, something like that.
Yeah.
The Bears, Green Bay put 30 something on the Bears a week previous, or 24, 27 plus. And that shows that offense isn't where it needs to be yet for the Saints, which I'd be a little worried about that because they're going to have to score. This is the one game. This is one of the games where I think it's going to be a high scoring game. I think this is like a 41-37, 42-35, 37-35 game. This is the high scoring game because I think both teams are just going to air this bitch out and just like go at it. That's just my opinion about the Saints and the Bucs.
I think it'll be some hard hitting. Both the defenses, they both got some pretty good defenses. And it's a division game. At the end of the day, it's a division game. So you know how the intensity is. A division game in the playoffs. So, I like I said, Saints, it's now or never. If you don't win this one, you're just hush. Who that? Nothing. Be quiet.
Yeah. So let's go to the other game, which I think it's interesting because of the quarterback matchup and this the matchup in general, and that's the Chiefs and the Browns.
Mm.
You got the Chiefs and the Browns, and the Chiefs they're a 10-point favorite in this game.
Mm.
Like that's the highest of the weekend. Looking at it, man, the Browns are playing good football, and I don't think this is going to be as easy as some people are making it out to be. I mean, they get Denzel Ward back. They're getting some guys back from the COVID list. offensive linemen back, coaches are coming back, and they beat Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh, albeit with no fans. They beat the dog shit out of them in Pittsburgh. And
let me tell you about the Browns. Let me tell you about the Browns.
Ahead. Break it down for me, bro.
The Browns have no shot. No shot. You understand me? It's a wrap for the Browns. It was a good year.
I'm trying to make it compelling.
It was a good year. They brought it around. I believe that they have something that they're going to build on. But the problem is the Browns make mistakes and it causes them to lose games. Kansas City makes mistakes and Patrick Mahomes fixes them. And that's just kind of what it is right now. And the only shot I believe that anybody has against the Chiefs is punk ass Green Bay. And that would have to be the Super Bowl. And that's the only team. If I'm a betting man, right? And the Bills were to get past Baltimore, I would give them a puncher's chance because it's something about that team. Something about them. But outside of that, it's a wrap. Kansas City just got they got the finger on it right now and on every level with that offense, so you can't stop it.
Since week 10, NFL, the quarterbacks remaining in the playoffs. Baker Mayfield's the only one to have under 3 interceptions thrown. He has 1. Aaron Rodgers has 3. That's since week 10. So looking at 7 weeks, almost 2 months, he's been playing damn near flawless football. The Browns defense, they can create pressure up front without blitzing, and they can play a lot of zone coverage, which zone coverage has given Mahomes issues, as well as the pressure that's created non-blitzing. And then even when they do dial it up, getting to him. That's been his kryptonite. We've seen it with the Raiders this year and the only loss they had. We've seen it early on in the Super Bowl last year with the 49ers. You've seen it. That's the kryptonite to Mahomes. That's, to me, the puncher's chance. Because they're not and in all actuality, it's not about stopping the Chiefs. It's about getting 2 or 3 stops in the game. But you got to score 7. You can't settle for 3. And I think
that's the problem.
And that's where I think Cleveland, they're going to end up settling for 3. I think it's not going to be I don't think it's going to be a 10-point game. That's just my opinion. I think you're looking at, again, maybe that's like a 37, 30, 40 to 31, one of those types. Again, a high scoring game. But but knowing my luck, I don't gamble either. Like, I'm probably wrong. They're probably going to beat them by like 4. Probably going to be like 50 to 20, 54-20 or something like that. I don't know.
They can't get a 2-touchdown lead. If they can't get a 2-touchdown lead, then they're not going to win the game. Like, if Patrick Mahomes is close to me,
you can't have a 24-point lead against the Chiefs and feel safe. Let's ask the Texans.
Yeah, I mean, really, to be honest. But I'm just saying, Cleveland can score. They got some weapons, right? They got to get a cushion because the dude is close in the fourth quarter. He's going to win. And that's the way I felt about Tom Brady, reluctantly. That's the way I felt about Michael Jordan, reluctantly. It's like you're playing the first 3 quarters to try to get as far ahead as you possibly can, because if it's close, you're going to lose. And if you're not far enough ahead, he's going to come back. And it really don't matter what the rest of the team does. It's him. He's the person that something happens at the end of the game where he ends up beating you. And that's just what dude is right now until somebody start consistently putting him on his ass. And that happened one time, and it was an anomaly in one game this whole season. In the last 2 seasons, it's happened twice that I've seen.
So let's talk about the Bills Ravens. You touched on it a minute ago.
Game of the weekend for me. Game of the weekend.
It's the second most anticipated game for me. Honestly, and that's the fan in me speaking there. If I take Green Bay out of it, yeah, I think you have a hell of a quarterback matchup.
Hell yeah.
A hell of a defensive matchup.
Hell yeah. This is fun.
And I'll tell you what, I low key am rooting for the Bills to get to the Super Bowl. Like low key, because I like Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs. I hated that he was on the Vikings, but I like his game. I like the way they move. And I'm gonna tell you what, their head coach, when I'm at the owners' meetings, dude is my height.
Really?
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, McDermott, you're my guy.
Yeah.
And we support our bald club, so I got to give him love. So
yes, sir.
And I don't like any Harbaugh, just out of principle. Fight on,
Yo, bro.
out of principle.
Come off the Harbaugh thing. I think it's all them Green Bay ass whoopings you took from.
That too.
James.
But that's beside the point. But I tell you, the Bills. What I like about the Bills, they got huge balls, and they're not scared to lay them on the table and say, hammer them. Let's go. Let's have a contest. See who's got a bigger sack. At the end of the day, we're gonna come out and beat you. That's what I like about the Bills team. They play with a swagger. They're not scared. Like the last week, they start off a little slow, and then all of a sudden, Josh Allen makes some ungodly throw. Like, oh, I'm running. Oh, I'm getting pulled down. Let me throw this thing 40 yards while I'm getting thrown down. And it's like, holy shit. And then like, he's just he's got a cool vibe about him. So
yeah, he does. And he let it hang, man. Him and Lamar, that's gonna be, to me, the most entertaining game. That's what I'm expecting it to be. It should be. It's gonna be the type of football that I like to watch. Both the defenses hit hard. Both the defenses talk trash and expect to impose their will on the offense. And the quarterbacks, you can't stop them from doing what they want to do. They have to make mistakes.
Yeah, so 100%.
So it's like, that's going to be a slobber knocker right there. I can't wait. I'm ready for that.
What the Bills have, and the other two other teams have it, but the Bills have it, and it's a distinct advantage for them this weekend. They have the best cornerback on the field with Tre'Davious White.
They do.
And he's going to be able to move around and shadow whoever it is the Ravens want to try to throw to.
Yeah.
Can the Ravens stop Lamar? And you and I talk about this like all the time when we talk about Lamar Jackson. Everywhere he's been, on every team, and maybe only except for a handful of games from his freshman year at Louisville to this year, he's been the best player on the field.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a guy that is still learning how to throw the ball correctly and in an NFL offense. That's talent. And to see whether or not the Bills, and they got some speed on that defensive side of the ball, can they slow down or bang him enough to make him not want to run as much?
No, they can't do that. There's nobody that can do that. What they have to do is try to bait him into bad throws. Yeah. They need to bait him into believing in his arm a little bit more than he should. That's the only way they're going to stop him. It's the only way. They have to be tricky on defense, because he's another one that he's obsessed. He's obsessed with winning in the playoffs and getting to the Super Bowl. And he wants to go crazy. He feel like Pat Mahomes came and took his shine. He believed that was supposed to have been him last year.
Yep.
100%. He believed that's supposed to have been him. So you see the steady progression of him getting better and better and better. And now you're at the point where you're going to have to start scheming things to bait him into getting himself in trouble.
Yeah.
Trying to go after his natural talents and instinct, you're going to be looking stupid.
Yeah. And
that's too much speed, man. That's too much speed that can, at any given time, slang that ball in full stride. It's, man, bro.
And he does it from right here. It's like he's running. He's like
it's nothing.
Yeah, I give him a lot so much. I love Lamar. I love that matchup too. I think him and Josh Allen.
That's gonna be a good one. That's
and then
because Buffalo had that kind of defense that they play smart, they disguise a lot of shit, and they can get in his head. So we'll see what happens. That's gonna be a good one.
The last game of the weekend is the one that I obviously, if you guys, everybody knows I'm a Green Bay fan, Green Bay and the Rams, and I know Squeeze is gonna get the
Rams, baby. We're all Rams this week. Los Angeles, baby. We're all Rams. Aaron
you went for the Quaker. You called yourself the Quaker Oats fan this week because they said they got the Quaker Oats man.
I hate them uniforms, man.
They're the ugliest in the NFL.
Oh,
the ugliest in the NFL.
What were they thinking about with that?
I don't know. They're dumb. They're dumb for a variety of reasons. But look, this game on Sunday, I was juiced for the game. I was pumped, bro. Like I had like an 8 or 12 tweet thread going about the game and because it's the matchups in this game, the individual matchups within the matchup. You have the best receiver in the league against one of the top 3 corners in the league in Jalen Ramsey and Devontae Adams. That is, you got the supreme route runner and release man versus one of the best technical and physical press corners in the league that can play anywhere in the secondary. And then you have the other best corner in the league going against your guy from Gardena, Sarah Gardena, Robert Woods, when he's matched up outside. And then you got Aaron Donald against the Packers interior line.
And then you got timeout. How is Aaron Donald doing? What is up with his rib?
So he's playing. He's got torn rib cartilage in his right rib. He's gonna play. So they're shooting him up with something. Yeah. They have to. So he's gonna be playing. He's a go. Cooper Kupp is listed as questionable, but I've been told that he's gonna play. He's gonna give it a go. But he's got knee bursitis, and it's gonna be 23 degrees around that at kickoff. That knee's gonna be, gonna be acting up a little bit if he don't get that shot up. So they got some questions there.
What up with the backup quarterback?
No, it's Goff going. Goff is starting. They announced that today.
Is the other quarterback? He's out completely.
Blake Bortles is the backup.
Oh my God! Come on, man.
So I was worried. So earlier in the week I was worried, but the more I thought about it, this is a Rams team that gave up. The Jets scored like 27 or something on them, 30. The Bills put a bunch of points on them. You look at the teams they played against, they gave up ass to certain teams. And they played against Seattle last week. Well, that's a divisional opponent. Russell Wilson was sacked 47 times this year. Aaron Rodgers was sacked 20. And it's Aaron Rodgers who's the league MVP this year.
Yeah, for sure.
Is the Rams defense, and I was more worried about it earlier in the week than I am as it's getting closer. I like Green Bay in this. I'm never going to pick against them. I like Green Bay in this, and I'm not going to say big, but I don't think it's going to be as close as some people think. This is one where I think Green Bay could put like 37, like a 37-20 type game. I think this could be the game people are like, damn, Green Bay is that real. I think they're the most balanced team left in the playoffs.
Look, man, the Rams are banged up, number one. That Jared Goff's thumb.
Whoa, hold on, wait. Before we get to that, I got breaking news. Just got a text come in. The Jets are hiring former 49ers defensive coordinator Robert Saleh as their next head coach. They agreed on a 5-year deal. I told you.
Oh, man. Should have drafted Deshawn, bro. We would have won the Super Bowl last year, and dude could have went wherever he needed to go, and everything would have been fine. Bosa wouldn't have got hurt. Wouldn't have got hurt. And Jimmy wouldn't have to be dealing with Jimmy and his shit and all of this other shit. But no, they didn't draft Deshawn. That's what fucked everything up. That's how we just lost our defensive coordinator, because you did not draft Deshawn. It was the worst thing that has ever been done to the city of San Francisco since the earthquake. You did not draft.
Okay.
Wait.
That's not going to be
Brian Brown. When Brian Brown came back from
3-1. But that was in Oakland though. That was in Oakland though. So what?
Oh yeah, you're right. That was Oakland.
Yeah. But we could talk about letting Joe Montana go, or trading Terrell Owens, or letting Jerry Rice go, or letting Steve.
When all that was happening,
we can talk about things that's worse than Robert Saleh leaving. Look, and he's not
man. This still, no. You don't understand, bro. So you don't understand. You don't get it. You just don't get. You always talk. You just don't understand the word defense. That's all. And I get it. You just don't understand it. But it's cool. You've never understood it.
What the hell are you talking about?
That's
what the fuck are you talking about? I coach defense.
That's my point. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Anybody.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Do we need to have some lawsuits or something going? Is there a fraud happening here? Because some of the stuff you come up with, bro, on defense just doesn't make sense to me. All of the shit from the draft last year. I'm not letting the draft go last year. You just allowed it to just slide under the rug and not say anything. You're wrong about everything. Wrong. All of the bad, terrible things, the terrible things that you said about Aaron Rodgers this time last year. And now you don't even talk about it. Now, Aaron Rodgers, he's the MVP.
What are you talking about?
Bro, you was trash.
Oh, no, okay, no, okay. I didn't say
trash.
No, I was not. No, bro,
we got
no.
Love. He's the future. Future. What? He was in the NFC championship.
No. I did say that. Look it. No. Squeeze.
No way.
Squeeze. We can go. People can go back to the YouTube and we can watch it. I just said they're looking out for the future of the team. I never said Aaron Rodgers trash. I wouldn't disparage that man like that.
You're talking about Aaron Rodgers last year. You talked about his attitude. You talked about his accuracy. You talked about all this stuff.
He talked about it. I repeated what he said. It's repeated what he said. He said, I had a shitty attitude. I have a new outlook on life. I wasn't as accurate as I could be. He said the same thing.
He was completely off the Aaron Rodgers ship last year, bro. Completely. To the point where...
Hold on. I got more news.
Wait. When I saw them draft Jordan Love, I say, damn, can we get Aaron Rodgers to San Francisco? I've been talking about that ever since. You put that in my head. The way you treated your quarterback last year, you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Well, here's another loss. Wait, I got more to the Robert Saleh hire. Here's another loss. Mike LaFleur, Matt LaFleur's brother, the 49ers receiver coach, he's the new offensive coordinator for the New York Jets.
I knew he's going to take somebody else to watch.
Probably going to take some defensive guys.
Yeah, he's not finished. He's not finished.
So, I mean, look.
Damn, we should have won that Super Bowl last year, man. That was a bad. We fucked up.
So, in the words of Pacheco, who, good friend of ours, friend of the franchise, he said, I felt dirty last year at the Super Bowl. I said, why? He goes, because I hate the Chiefs because I was a Raider fan, but I damn sure didn't want the Niners to win.
Pacheco was a hater. That's all. That's all that is. Just a hater. All of you are haters.
So let's get back to, I know, because we're recording this on Thursday evening. We're releasing this. This is Friday, obviously. So, hopefully I don't get any more texts or any messages coming through the MacBook because I won't have to read them and piss Squeeze off anymore.
I'm saying, man, it's like the death of San Francisco night.
But look, I like Green Bay in this game, and I think you're right. The Rams are dinged up, and the only team that really worries me, and I really shouldn't be worried because when they played Tampa Bay the first time, it was the Murphy's Law game. Like anything that could go wrong after the first 10 minutes of the game did for them. Tampa Bay, because they're so damn fast at the linebacker position and they can come from all over the place, and that's going to kind of screw up the offense. But the way Green Bay's played defense the last 5 or 6 weeks, they're giving up an average of 69 yards on the ground. And it wasn't like they were playing some scrubs. Montgomery from the Bears was like killing it the last month of the season. They held him to 69 yards. They held Derrick Henry to 50 yards up until the game was out of reach, and then he ran for a little bit more than that. That's a guy that ran for 2 Gs. So Green Bay's defense has turned the corner, I think. I like Green Bay in this game. And look, they're the only team right now in the playoffs to have a legitimate and a natural home field advantage.
That's the point. Now you're talking. Talk about whatever. You playing up there in the North Pole, and that's what you got on everybody else. Jared Goff tossing the ball around with a bum thumb in the North Pole.
And there's going to be 8,000 fans. There's 8,000 fans that's going to be at the stadium too.
Are you serious?
They have
cheating.
No, they got it. There's they're already approved for 2,000. That's all first responders and
cheaters
people who work for the company or for the organization.
Yeah,
and then the NFL approved them. The NFL approved them for 6,000 fans for this game. So 6,000 on top of the 2. So there's 8,000 fans that's going to be at Lambeau.
Straight cheating.
You ain't trying.
Trying your best to cheat your way to the Super Bowl,
bro. Last topic, and it's something that we can, we've talked about. I mean, our text yesterday and even earlier in the week, we text about it, and the Deshawn Watson situation, along with Urban Meyer getting the job in Jacksonville. Now, I can tell you and everybody what I was told by people I know and sources within the Jaguar organization, which I kind of broke it a few nights ago. That I don't know if I was first or not, and you'll know more than I would, Squeeze, since I know like you pound the table for me more than anybody, and I appreciate that. But I had said like Urban Meyer and Trent Baalke would be an pairing in Jacksonville. Wonder who's going to be on his staff. I tweeted that on like Tuesday or Wednesday night. Mm-hmm. People in the organization told me that locker room, there's a lot of dysfunction. There's a lot of finger pointing on even like defensive side of the ball, linebackers to D linemen to secondary. There's a lot of finger pointing, defense to offense. With Urban Meyer coming there, I don't know if he's going to clean house because you don't get rid of a Miles Jack. You don't get rid of some of those other guys on defense that can really play. But I think there's going to be some guys that do get moved. What do you think of the Urban Meyer hire? And do you have, I don't know if you have any insight to anything going on down there in Duval.
Well, I know that for the owner, it's a really big deal that like this team means a lot to him. Means a lot to him for his heritage, family-wise, everything else, the prestige that comes with it. He really wants to win because he's the first in a lot of different things. So I think it's a splash hire. I think it's a hire that will command some respect. If you look at like the ages of the guys on the team now, the name Urban Meyer means something to them more so than a lot of the guys that was on the team previously in the last couple of years. Get what I'm saying? It's not so much of a, how when the college guy comes in, you got a lot of vets, pros. It's like, okay, man, I'm you're not bringing that college shit here. But when you got guys at this certain age and Urban's been on TV, different, you know what I'm saying? I think that there is a communication issue with and it's generational. You get what I'm saying? And a lot of the old guard guys can't seem to bridge the gap to get to the youngster. It's a new type of youngster. You understand what I'm saying? So it takes that type of bridge person, but that has that pedigree of winning to command the respect from all angles. I think he's probably the quintessential person that could do that right now. And I think it was definitely best for him to go and like sit behind the booth, get on TV for a couple of years, watch the college off a little bit before he came into this job. I think that he's got full support. He's going to have full support of his ownership. From his ownership. And if he wins, he's going to be king.
So this is, I've said this from the beginning, and I've been very outspoken when it comes to this coaching cycle. Okay. Jacksonville to me was the best job because
You
Shad
think
Khan
so?
I'm gonna tell you why. Shad Khan is a very patient owner. Look how long
Yeah.
he stuck with the last two, Gus Bradley and even the guy they just fired.
Right.
They have over $80 million in salary cap space this year. The most in the NFL. They have 11 picks, including 2 in the first and 2 in the second, off of trades, including Trevor Lawrence at number 1.
Mm-hmm.
And you do have some pieces there. You're going to have Trevor Lawrence. You have a okay line. You need to get some tackles, I believe. You have DJ Shark and Yvonne and Chenault over on the other receiver.
Mm-hmm.
You also have Robinson, the running back, who ran for 1,000 yards as an undrafted rookie, which I think you could still upgrade that. And then on defense, you got Miles Jack as your anchor, and at the other that linebacker core is solid.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, that made the job the most attractive because you have all that, but the patient owner with all that salary cap space and that draft capital makes it, and a division that's very winnable. Like I know the Colts and Titans, but you could turn that around quick and you could run that division because Houston's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Right.
That's a dumpster fire. So
yeah, it's a mess.
So for me, that was the most attractive hire. Personally, I thought Eric Bieniemy should have been the man for that. I'm very vocal in my support for EB. People say he doesn't interview well. Go look at from last year when he was talking after the Super Bowl and how he was describing what it meant for Andy Reid. Yeah. And this is the guy that's called plays for 2 years for Andy Reid, 2.5 years. Matt Nagy, who called plays for a half a season for the Chiefs, labeled the offensive genius, half a season, gets a head coaching job.
Come on, man. We know how this goes.
I know, but my point is EB needs to be a head coach somewhere.
I agree.
And Jacksonville would have been ideal. With Urban Meyer, he's bringing cachet, and that's going to put asses in the seats, first and foremost. If and when fans are allowed back. He's going to say the right things to the media, where I think he may have some trouble. Urban Meyer likes to control the media and control his players. These are grown-ass men making a hell of a lot more money than you in most cases. At least your superstars. They're going to tell you to kiss their ass if you tell them.
But that's why I said I'm glad he took the time off. He didn't just go and sit on his ranch. He went into the entertainment business. Like, when you sit behind a desk calling college football, like you're an actor. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so you have to come out of coach mode and get something else. And he did it pretty well. And I think that's probably what a lot of coaches need to do before they make that jump, is to go into something else that you understand. Like, I'm back in the real world. I'm not dealing with children anymore. I think the press in the area, he's probably nothing new to him.
Second smallest market behind Green Bay. So
yeah, so
they're gonna kiss his ass, and
it's nothing new to that. And then he's Florida's coach, so it ain't like that's nothing for him. I think just like with anything else, he just got to win. I'll say this much: I don't know if this is the best job, but I bet if he wins there, he's gonna be coached there until he doesn't want to be coached there anymore.
Well, I think that's going to be a Gruden-esque type move for him.
Yes, I agree.
Where he's going to, where he'll have that sway. Now, we touched on it briefly. Deshawn Watson in the Houston Texans.
Yeah.
So in the Noop chat that I'm in, it's been known that Deshawn is unhappy with Houston. He wasn't unhappy as much with the trading of DeAndre Hopkins. He thought it was a football decision more so than anything. He didn't like it, but it wasn't like didn't send him over the edge. He signs his big deal. And in the midst of a pandemic, that's the smart thing to do. Get your bag when you can in this climate that we're in.
Absolutely.
And then they fire Bill O'Brien. Okay, he's cool with that. But they come to him and say, you're going to have input and you're going to have a voice in who we hire. And then in the midst of all the social stuff that's going on, social injustice and systemic racism and everything going on that was happening, the Texans are probably one of the least proactive or helpful teams in the NFL. And that's kind of what sent them over the edge. And then they bring in, there's this guy, Jacob Easterbay. And he basically he worked with Saban down at Bama as a counselor, like life coach type guy. Gets the job at New England, right? Is up there doing that, but starts trying to behind the scenes. He wants to be a GM, and ends up down in Houston where he's got like a title where he's almost like he's running the team. And he wanted to hire Cesario last year when they fired Rick Smith, and they were like, nah. He fired the woman in charge of PR who's won awards for being dope. Like she's one of the dopest at what she did. Everybody loves her. He fires her, which pissed Washington off. And then he was pushing for Cesario, but they hired the firm or whatever. The firm comes in and says, you need to hire Shad Khan from the Steelers. That's what we recommend.
Who?
Khan, Omar Khan, or Omar Khan. He's the Steelers vice president of player personnel. They said you come in and he's the guy you hire. They start negotiations with him. Easterbay comes in, tells Cal McNair, we can get Cesario, get Cesario. They pull out and hire Cesario, going against the recommendation of the coaching search firm that they hired.
Jeez.
If you're Deshawn Watson, do you think, and I'm asking you a squeeze because I know you're coming from entertainment world. How would you feel about this? If you were Deshaun Watson, would you want out? Or what would you do? How would you handle this situation?
No. After my first album at Sony, they fired the regime that signed me, and a new regime came in.
I remember.
Started firing all of the people that, you know what I'm saying, and wanted to change everything that I was trying to do, and I literally wanted to leave and figured out a way to get myself out.
Didn't they want you to be a shiny shoe dancing squeeze?
Listen, I'm not even going into it. But like when you put it that way, and I haven't heard the ins and outs. This was my first time hearing that.
Yeah,
I completely understand because this is not the same place that you signed to. Like the offices are the same, the uniforms are the same, the logo is the same, but none of these people are your people. And they're coming in literally being handed the keys to the car. Like all the car is moving over your head. Like you sleep in the back, you wake up, you on the road, you don't know where you're going. You didn't say you wanted to go here. So yeah, I get it. And then not only that, man, it's like on the field, you got to get this man some help. You got to get him some help. It's ridiculous. It's a shame. It's a shame. This dude.
Well, did you see
Andre this dude
Johnson's
is set to be one of the, huh?
What? Did you see Andre Johnson's tweet?
No, I didn't. What Dre said?
He said, Deshaun, stand your ground. And he went, and Houston is a place where it kills careers or something like that.
Yeah.
That's the franchise best player tweeting at him.
And
that's the first time Dre's tweeted since like 2019.
The best and the most loyal. The most loyal.
Yeah.
Literally stuck with him till he couldn't stick with him no more. And they never would get the man a quarterback. Tua and 2 first-round picks.
Miami has the 3rd pick and the 18th pick in this draft.
I mean, no, I don't think I would if I'm Miami. I don't think I would if I'm Miami.
When I did WWJD on Wednesday night, Jacob Westendorf from Game On Wisconsin was like, we're talking about that. So basically, it's like draft day when not Mel Gibson. What's the dude's name?
Kevin Costner.
Kevin Costner was like, I want my future back, and I want David Putnick, God damn it. And then the guy's like, oh, fine. The 3rd overall pick originally belonged to Houston. So they get their pick back. They'll get that pick back. And the quarterback who Cicero wanted in Buffalo in New England, but wouldn't have a chance to grab him. I can see them doing that. Take him.
Wow.
Yeah, but man, look at it. We gonna get out.
Him.
The 49ers ain't gonna get him. He ain't going there.
They need to go get him.
And neither is Aaron Rodgers.
They need to go get him. 49ers was supposed to have him. He's supposed to be our quarterback right now. Today.
So was Aaron Rodgers, but you took Alex Smith, and we'll leave that alone too. Anyway, folks, that's TQ. I'm Joe Arrigo. This is the Franchise Podcast on Franchise Sports Media. Follow us on Twitter, on YouTube,
we're
on Facebook,
back
on IG. Oh, and this is every week, baby. So get used to it. The Franchise Boys is in the building. We're not going anywhere.
Yep.
Holla at us.
We here. Check this out, everybody. Wear a mask. Your boy TQ had COVID last month, and it was terrible. You don't want it. Wear a mask. Trust me.
Wear a mask,
baby. See y'all next week. Holla at your boy. After Green Bay loses. After the Packers lose.
That guy.